entertainers that came into town, or during, say, Thanksgiving time with the Turkey Day Classic. You might have had the parade coming in front of your house, and people would always laugh about, why do you wave to everybody? I said, because this is a thoroughfare. We know everybody, and it's always been like that. This is family property, and my great-grandfather, who was an Alabama State Senator during Reconstruction, his name was John William Jones, is the person that owned a large amount of this property. Your politicians, your educators, professional people, doctors, lawyers, etc., that lived in this neighborhood. It also was the hub of a lot of black business. It's no surprise that the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church Parsonage would be built in this neighborhood, which is 2 doors down from us. So anybody that happened to be assigned to be the minister of the church lived in that house, most notably Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was our neighbor for 6 years. My memories of civil rights movement and the people that were involved that came into the house is what I remember the most.
Your folders on the table, you can, you'll get, when you get to your group, you'll kind of be able to look at that. But the main thing about this space is to take We Shall Someday, which was on the stage at ASF for the last, 10 days? All right. That was fun. 10 days. It was a great opportunity. And then we also had a weekend of community events. We are in a historic place that has a lot of meaning, a lot of value. A lot of us know what this place means, and a lot of us, the others who don't, we're going to learn today. We're going to learn a lot more about what's happened here and why are we having a community conversation and strategy session in a house. Why did Dr. Montgomery open up her family's home to us for this conversation? Why was that? Why is this place so important?
Those from the We Shall Someday team want to raise a hand. If you haven't seen the show, it is a musical composed by Ken Shin, who's in the room. In partnership with writer Harrison David Rivers. And the original vision for this project was to take it along the route that the Freedom Riders traveled. And that sort of kick-started this partnership to begin with. I think Dorothy Walker, Madeline Lambert, wherever she is in this room, were some of the original folks that we connected with. We worked with local partners like the Freedom Riders Museum, like the Harris House, like New South, like Alabama Valleys, and I'm forgetting some. King Canvas, to really be community-driven, community-led, community-inspired.
This is a part of that free event series, and it's really extending the themes of the musical into community, into real spaces for what we're about to do today. So this is the last event. I was gonna say, oh. Okay, let's try it again. Y'all, this is the last event of the 3-part series. They don't have to be, but it's the first. It is the kickoff. So we have some things here. I'm gonna talk a little bit about. I'm gonna point out who the group leaders are for each theme. So these are a little heavy, y'all. So we have beyond performative allyship. So we're looking at what does tangible, sustained commitment to justice look like in Montgomery, and who needs to be held accountable in the process. We're gonna be talking about the role of artists, organizers, and funders. How do we design relationships where artists, organizers, and funders work in deep alignment, not in silos or transactions, into some intergenerational infrastructure in a digital world, y'all. What does it look like to build sustainable social justice infrastructure across generations?
And then our last group will be discussing preserving memory and movement spaces, looking at how do we protect the physical and cultural spaces that have housed resistance, just like this one, and who is responsible for remembering. We'll be discussing land, buildings, archives, and practices, and exploring preservation through storytelling, through ownership, and policy.
We Shall Someday. I think that was a good place of meeting students students where they are, even the ones like, especially the ones that don't have, like Yash said, the resources and stuff.
Did you guys discuss anything that felt concrete? We talked about meeting people where they are. We talked about hands-on engagement.
Public good begins in your organization, and how are we sharing that information with each other? How are we living our values? And that's very critical.
We talk a lot about planning, right? Having a plan, having something that is the long-term vision and mission and strategies around sustainability. And so that's where we really got specific about the Harris House and talked about